Good afternoon, everybody. Behind these rear wheels are a pair of very rusty brake discs, and they're making a grinding noise. They've got quite a lip on them, so we've advised the customer to get a new set of discs and pads. The locking wheel nut tool's been found, so let's crack on. You'll need a 19mm socket. Once the wheel's off, you can get a better look. Quite a rusty rim on those, not the worst I've ever seen, but definitely a good candidate for a replacement. First things first, we need to get the caliper off. A 7mm Allen key tool and a battery ratchet makes short work of the sliding bolts. The OEM standard for this type of sliding bolt is not to add lubrication. Push the bolt back with a small pry tool, otherwise the caliper will be difficult to remove. These steel springs often get stuck in the aluminium caliper. I was only able to remove it at the top. If you're too rough, the end can snap off in the caliper, making reinstallation very difficult. So in the end, I decided to bend the bastard out of the way, so it did not impede my work. Push this rubber bush out of its holder, so you get more slack on the brake hose. Now you can have a go at removing the caliper. Pry it at the top and then the bottom, and it should come loose. It was a bit stiff, but no match for the master. Don't attempt to try and push the piston back on these type of calipers. It doesn't work, and you'll probably break something. The pistons must be turned clockwise or counterclockwise to get them to recede. Put it over the other side while you concentrate on the brake pad bracket. These have a 13mm head, and they're not particularly tight. I was able to crack them off with a 3/8 ratchet. But then again, I do eat a lot of Weetabix. You can notice that the pads weren't particularly worn. Now go and get a Torx 50 bit and remove this bolt from the disc. I'm going to use the impact gun and hope it does not snap my bit. The new discs did not have a place for this bolt, and it isn't a crucial part of installation. This old Milwaukee gun is on its last legs, but it just about managed to get the bolt out. Give the disc a couple of love taps to break it free from the rust. Hitting it on the front and then the back normally loosens it up. Pull it off and you can add it to your scrap pile. Before installing the new disc, you should clean the rust off the face of the hub. You could even use sandpaper or a file for this job. We're going to be fitting Durids today. I always find them a very decent quality. I'll open the boxes carefully just in case the parts are wrong. Comparing the old and new disc, looks good to me. Clean up the brake pad carrier, removing any rust or dirt. I like to use a hacksaw blade. Run it through where the lugs on the pad sit. Once it's clean, bolt it back up and put the new pads in. The pad with a little spring on the top goes at the back of the disc. If you've cleaned it well, they should go in very easily. Now you need to wind the piston back in the caliper, otherwise it will not fit over the pads. There's a left hand and a right hand tool. This car uses the right hand tool for both sides. Use the correct adapter for the piston type. When the piston stops turning freely, you know you've reached the end. Don't forget to put the metal spring back. I managed to get this one to go back properly, despite not being able to fully remove it. Clean any greasy marks or dirt on the disc with a rag and some brake cleaner. These discs have a painted surface, so do not have the factory grease on them. Once it's finished and all assembled, go and do the other side. If you've finished both sides, go and pump your brakes. Thanks for watching.